Hello everyone and welcome to Amiga Heaven. This is a very, very special episode because it's taken me years to get this working, and that's not an exaggeration. I could not get this working. It's the clue. Now, the reason I could not get this working is because there's issues with the save disk. Okay, but let's get started and I'll get into what the problem was when we get to it. Tragic. Stupid France. No rational man is driving on the right side of the street. Dear mourners, today we come together to blah 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 blah. I've been doing that. Mumble. I've been thinking, Matt had never got a driving license. Yeah, he never got one. And the car? Right off. No, that's not what I meant. Sorry, these guys are more like, yeah, it weren't his own. Sabin here, take me Yankee. Took you a long time to help her, Herb. Here, Inspector, take that hanky. Let's have a drink afterwards. Sounds fine to me. Just be dead for one day and your friends will have feasts again. Right, and here we go. I've gone into a new game. This is where it all started. Yes, on this worn out marble tiled floor 41 years ago. It was the time when everybody just longed for the pain and the misery of the Second World War. An unbelievable zest of living spread among the young generation. It was impressive in a new, wild kind of music that was played in the scores of new pubs that popped up like mushrooms in every part of town. It was important to live in the present. Nobody wanted to think about the past, nor did we care about the future. This was the general mood of the young man from the country arriving in this town. Didn't have a single penny, but his head was full of dreams. Ignored all the risks and dangers of the big city, he was determined to try his luck in London. It's Matt Sullivan. This is me. So you can walk, you can look, you can call a taxi, but we're going to go and we are going to walk. It's probably best. You can think. This tells you bits and pieces, gives you options of, you know, what your bits and pieces that you know or have or own. But we're going to leave the station and now we're in the street. So you see from here, you can see what there is. You've got two shops, a hotel and a pub. That is literally places that you can go. And this game, if you've never played it before, you never heard of it, it's probably looking somewhat confusing at the moment. Here we go. We're going to go into the hotel. I'd like to book a room, please. 3 nights in advance. Awfully sorry, but you can't have a room for free. You should go to the police office in Watling Street. Alright, so we've now got to go to Watling Street, so we'll call ourselves a cab. There is a way in which you can actually get a free room by saying that you've pre-booked and then pick the right name. But this is just as fine, it works as well. And as soon as you use a cab or a taxi, you receive a card which basically gives you free taxi rides for life. Now we can go to Watling Street. And here we go. Now, in the police station. I don't want to make a complaint. Okay, I'm ready. Oh no, that's really is terrible. About £50. Allow me to lend you £10 in the name of justice. I now have his police identity card. You can do something with that, but I can't exactly remember what the point of that is, to be honest. So we'll go back and we'll get ourselves a room. Now, this game is all about robbery. Home sweet home, a wonderful feeling of peace spread through your body. You decided to phone the only person in the world, blah blah blah, and he phones his mum. And basically she explains that there is a friend that would like to talk to you, and a meeting has been arranged in 15 minutes in the Fat Man's pub. So it's just the pub outside. So let's make our way to the pub. You can take your time, but then he gets angry. And yeah, basically he says that he has a job to offer you. And he knows you're short on money, so he would like to give you an option of trying to get the money and help in a coup. You explain that you have no money to give him for the coup, and he says, you just go get it. We'll give you a little coup, and that money will help us towards the big coup. So he tells you about a kiosk in Fulham, and they've already cased it, so you don't have to worry about that. You just have to go in and try and get as much as you can. He gives you £15 and a car, which is very, very nice. And then it all begins. Now, like I said, this I played this so much because I wanted to try and get all of these missions as good as I can. There you go. So you got the Fiat, Topolio, and then you got all the general conditions and bits and pieces of the car. And then this is the plan. So it's the kiosk. The accuracy is 100% because it's fully checked out. Everything else is low because there's nothing there to worry about. Yeah, he doesn't like him, but it's good that he's giving you an idea, and maybe you could give this criminal stuff a go. Okay, is there anyone in here? No. Now, the thing about this game that annoyed me, the only thing that annoyed me, was you have to find accomplices. Now, that in itself is fair enough. But you have to find an accomplice, for example, who can drive a car. Because at the moment, you can't drive. But what that leads to is trying to scramble anyone who can drive a car. And it's so hard. I only know of 3 people that I can kind of remember. One of which is the taxi driver. But if I've got it correctly, I believe if you choose the taxi driver, he will go straight to the police after the job anyway. and one of the other guys that does do driving. Hold on. Let's go and have a look. Let's pick this. Oh no, he's a copper. Okay. We won't pick him. We'll pick the other guy. I think he's the waiter. Yeah, he is. So the way it works is you can talk to anyone that's wandering around. Anyone that's not a copper, you can ask them what their job is, ask them what their experience is, and that will tend to tell you what they can and cannot do. And then you can say, I've got a job. Say how many people. They'll give you a percentage, and then you can say yes or no. And then when it comes to the job, you can pick who you want. Now, yeah, I'm going to have to find someone. I don't know where. In fact, that's her there. There she is. That's who I need. I'll buy some stuff. I don't think I can talk to her though, can I? Would you please show me? No, okay. Well, I'll buy me old Jemmy while I'm here. I might buy gloves as well. He gave me 15, didn't he? Yeah, the Jemmy is really important. You could buy an axe and a hammer, but they're kind of too loud. And I'll buy gloves as well. But yeah, I need to find her outside of her business. And then get her to join. That's what I need. But I know there is one person that you can get who is a very good driver. But they want like 80 to 90% every time. And if they're the only person you can find, then you have to use them. It's like drivers are so hard to find. And now I just need to keep wandering around. If I use a taxi between the roads, it takes up an hour or two. And that then allows me to let the people move around. Oh, thank God she's there. Oh, it's taken all day. I'm going to cut all of that out because I am just wandering backwards and forwards. Okay, yep, she likes music, likes jazz. He's a jazz man. Okay. Have an experience. I don't know one or the other thing about cars. And then, yep. There's two of us. 47%, that's fine. I should only use her to drive, if we're being honest. But, yeah, look, it's 4 in the morning. My God, that took so long. Alright, but let's get to the interesting bit. This is the bit. It takes a while to kind of get everything in place, but then this is the fun bit. We get to plan a robbery. Alright, so. This is the planning phase. So you see, we've got our car there. We've got escape route. I don't see what the point of the escape route is, or the distance, really. The car's only licensed for 2 people. So we can only have one other person, and it has to be a driver. There's all my bits and pieces that I can do. So we will accept her. And as you can see there, she only really is good at cars. So I shouldn't use her for anything else, but I'm going to. Now this is the problem that I have. Because you can play this game now. If you have a real Amiga, you can go and play it. If you're emulating the Amiga, you can go and play it. But to save your plans, you need a data disk. And you can only get the data disks if you... Hold on, I'm having problems. It's not going through. There we go. Okay. Oh, no, I had to wait. Sorry. The data disk is only available if you... I'll get to it in a minute. There you go. So, look, I tried to open the door. Can't open the door. So, I'm going to use the wooden door with a jimmy. Now, look, 15 seconds with a jimmy or a long time for your hand or your foot. So, if I hadn't have bought that, I would be here forever. But then I would have more problems, because I'm going to choose walk. And I'm going to have a wander. And you see you've got a cabinet in front and you've got the till. So let's go to the till and try and open it. Nope, it's locked. Now if I go to use, I can only use the Jimmy. So if I hadn't have bought it, I could not have got any money. Alright, so let's take the money. Nice. £190 value money. And now we leave. Now, like I said, if I was just going to leave her... See, if I try to sort out this other box. Because there's clearly another cabinet there, but there's nothing there. So you just walk out, stand by the car. If I was just going to use her more frequently, I would just have her walking or waiting by the car, so she gets less evidence of her being here, which means I can use her more frequently and not have to worry about trying to find another driver. Alright, so let's just wait. So now you see, as I'm moving with her, the time is progressing and Matt is doing the bits I told him to do. Alright, so now I'm going to use... Don't even question how this works. I'm going to use the cache of valuables with the Jemmy again, even though he had it. And I get a cigar case, look at that. £100 and £90 of cash. And now we walk to the car, and that is the whole of planning. Now, to keep the plan, you essentially need to have a data disk, and the only way to get the data disk is by a hard drive installed. So you need to have the hard drive installed, and then you can make the data disk. Without a data disk, you cannot get out of that planning screen. Here we go, there you go. So put the data disk in. Kiosk plan 1 is the one we just worked out. And there they go. And they're free. There you go, look at that. Now, if we were being chased by the police, there would be a little blue bar following us from here. But they were like going that way. But there was no police. They didn't know we were on our way. And we made it out. There we go. We are safe, free, and clear. And at the end of every burglary, the police will do their research to see if they can find traces of anyone. And they always find some traces. So they've got working for us, and they've got walking for us. So we both have evidence of walking and evidence of working. And this is why you need to kind of vary up the people you bring on these missions. I feel like Napoleon himself as a glorious victory. If I'd be in the first Raw or the live concert of the Beatles, or if Marilyn Monroe just kissed me. Simply wonderful. Yeah, because if you use the same people over and over again, the police can learn who they are. So you have to be a little bit careful. Hi Matt, I just heard about your last coup. Well done. By the way, we found another possible source of money for the big coup, but I'm afraid this one's a little too difficult for you. Anyway, the code name will be Bluefish. Right, and now the mission is to do bigger and harder robberies, finding people to help, as well as upgrade. We can buy new cars, buy new and fancier equipment. This is funny. See, if you look at the picture, that's clearly the inspector, because he's got a pipe. He's asking us about if we committed a burglary. Sir, I'm absolutely honest and honourable man. Don't be that aggressive. And petite question. And you say no, you don't show him anything. Yeah, the poor man tried in vain to stop the police from arresting him, charged with vagrancy. Obviously, the inspector thought that I wouldn't recognise him. Alright, but now the job is to sell all the things that you just collected from your robbery. Oh, it's early. Ooh, okay. Well, alright, we'll have to wait then until it opens. The only questionable thing about this part of the game is that you don't keep the money. You have to sell the money. I'm assuming it's like a laundering type thing. But you can see this man, he would rather give you better money for vases, for jewellery, for gold. So we can make us an offer. The money, you're going to get roughly the same amount of money no matter where it is. Cigarette case for 32? No. If you remember, they said it was worth 100. But I know the man to take that to, so that's fine. He's standing right there smoking on the street. I think that's him anyway. There he is. Because, yeah, £88. That's much more reasonable. There are also 1 or 2 other shops on the other street. And you basically have to go to the best places for the best money. So that's cool. We got some decent money there. And now look, these are all the places we can now do jobs at. You've got a curiosity shop. You've got the Highgate Cemetery. You've got Aunt Emma's shop. An old people's home. Pink Villa. So there's a decent amount of places to go now. We can also look at the cars. And we'll have a little look at the cars, and I can show you some of the options that we have. Because basically, if we choose to sell our car, £400 odd. Now we got about £200 there. So if we were to sell the car, we'd have about 6. So we could buy this, which is the same model, different colour, slightly better conditions all round. Still only 2 people though. And then, you know, these are all the cars. So you got like really expensive to very reasonable. I mean, that Jeep is quite within our price range. And then there's a really cheap Fiat. So you see, this is one of the expensive cars. It's designed as a pizza car. It's very good condition all round, but very conspicuous appearance, which is weird. You would think it would be very inconspicuous. Pontiac Steamliner. Now, if I remember correctly, you can actually get a Porsche in this, because I remember being at the level where even if the police caught you, you just sped off into the distance and there's nothing they could do. See, that Jeep looks like it's going to be our next reasonable car. License for 4. Condition is not great. But it's, you know, it holds 4 people and is a decent car. So, that'll probably be the way we go. Now, I love this game. Trying to come up with plans to try and work out how to get everything out of the buildings without getting caught, without setting off alarms, without doing this, that or the other is really, really fun. Proper planning, proper organising. So, now that I've finally got this game working, next week we are going to carry on with this and we are going to pick one of those that I showed you. And we're going to see how it actually plays on a real mission, rather than one they've just given us that's easy and quick. So, there will be a poll on this video right now, the eye at the top of the screen. Pick the one that you would rather see me do, and I will give it a go for you. But that'll be next week. So, thank you so much for watching. Please tune in next week to see what everyone picked. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you again next time.